Oh my. Anybody just saw that? Wow. Hello, people. Hi. Thanks for joining. You're gonna see me eat a black bean taco. Choose to be kind. I like that name. Because, goodness, it is a choice sometimes, isn't it? We're going active choice. Hello. Hello, people. I just started this. And Mayra just knocked my camera. Doggo is down here. And I'm going to see if... Hello. I'm going to see if Spooktastics is going to be joining momentarily. I do not think I mentioned to her that I would be eating. White Witch, cool name. Empathic Wolf, love it, yes. Yay, you caught my live. Crispy Crumb, that's a funny name. Catching a live for the first time, yay! I'm glad some people were able to catch me. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make this a regular thing on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be live, and I want to interview other people. Hello from Scotland. My people. Yay, first time. Yay, so many people watching for the first time. Awesome. Thanks for joining. When Kat gets on in just a few moments, that'll be fun too. Yay, so many people. Love this. Yes. Hi from New Mexico. Hello. First, oh my goodness. Hi from Wales. I'm going to get out there at some point. I really am. Like, Wales is calling me. I just, so much is going on. Nashville, cool place. Watching from Canada, Georgia, Newfoundland. Another place I want to visit. Though I don't like cold weather, so we'll see. Ireland, Arkansas, Rhode Island. I saw Oklahoma. I have family in Oklahoma. Canada, yes. What is that? I just saw one that I didn't pronounce. What Massachusetts? What is that? Sasha Chichwan? Sorry, I hope you did not take offense to me butchering that name. Oh yay, I'm glad that I helped. That really makes me so happy. Literally today on Instagram, I don't always get, oh, North Carolina, Napa Valley, yay. Hi, everybody. I don't always get to go through my DMs because they're a lot, which is exciting. But one person, they were just like, hey, I love what you do and you've been really helpful and I don't have anything for you except for pictures of my cows. And so this person straight up sent me pictures of their cows and it made my day. Oh, thank you. Thank you for all the stuff. Thanks for the roses. Yes, Spooktastic. Okay, I'm inviting her. Hopefully she'll get over soon. Yeah! Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. As soon as I sat down and I was like, I'm ready.
Of
He
course.
goes, and I was like, don't do it.
Not now. Yeah, how do you put your baby on a schedule?
Yeah, we're
Little Bean!
He's so small. Yeah, as I was texting Rebekah earlier today, there is some work going on in my building and it is just reverberating through my entire apartment and keeping him awake. Because I can't make it easier for me. Not at all.
Hey, but
anyway.
Everybody, just so you know, you are looking at like the next like biggest, bestest paranormal investigator, psychic medium in that baby because you don't know it yet, but he knows it. He's screaming about it sometimes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just stares. I'll have to pay Rebekah the big bucks to come and teach him the ways.
Oh my goodness. I'll be like, baby, you see things, just don't stop seeing them.
Don't do what your mother did. Don't be like, I don't want this.
Well,
and lose out on all of that.
I know that you'll be supportive in that. Like, when he comes to you and he's like, hey, I saw a man in the hallway. You're not going to be like, oh my God, that's a lie. You didn't see anybody in the hallway. Nobody was there. You're going to be like, whoa, what did he look like?
I'll be over here like, where?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let's go find the man. Yeah.
Hi, Mama Baker. Hi, Haley. Hi, Elijah. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to what is possibly the greatest combination of human beings on TikTok.
Literally, like, okay, so I know Kat only through TikTok. At some point, we're gonna change that. But what we were
And
just,
we're both going to fight.
yeah, exactly. We were FaceTiming, like I don't know how long ago, but I was just like, we should just put this on live because I feel like we're just talking about things that people would want to hear about.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Honestly, between like, we're both sides of the coin of the paranormal community. And if there was anybody that I would recommend highly when it comes to mediumship,
Bless. What's funny was I'm on the other side of you on my screen, but I'll give this to you as well. As far as like paranormal investigator people, like who's down to earth and is not constantly being like, "Is that a spirit? I heard a knock." Yeah. So nah. That's why one day we're gonna team up and we're gonna have like the most incredible investigation ever. We're gonna talk to all the people and all the things, and look forward to when that day happens because it's unfortunately not today, but we are talking about things today.
we've been talking about this for a while, and then the pandemic happened, and then I was like, oh well, that's okay. We'll fix it later. Oh, thank you, Spooky Virgo, for the flower. My moderator Haley says, "Tell Rebekah I said hi and I love her content."
Thank you, moderator Haley. Yeah, I don't have a moderator, so everybody just be good,
Yeah,
please.
I'm your moderator, but I'm not helping at all.
Yeah. We'll
I'm
have
gonna
to
sit
see
here
how
and
that
be
goes.
like, everybody over there by Rebekah, you better not.
Basically.
You better not. Oh, don't be sad, babies. No sad
Oh
babies.
no, not sad, baby.
No sad babies. Yeah, he'll probably want to eat at some point, but
Hmm.
for now, he should be okay. Um, so I think I'm just gonna throw it out there. If anybody in my chat has yet to like go to Rebekah's page and watch her series, her most recent series she started, my heart can't take it. I can't watch them anymore because it hurts my soul. I'm like, oh, Rupert, oh my god. And then the new one you did with you looking all like scantily, I was like, oh, Rebekah.
I know. I was like, hey everybody, here's my thigh. This has never made it to TikTok before.
Hey everybody, here's my shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. I was that's the thing. I was kind of worried about it, but I was like, no, Molly, she would be proud. I'm going to show my thigh for her benefit.
And just the way you portrayed his reactions, where he was like, oh yeah, and I was dying. I loved it. I loved it.
Honestly,
See, I tried to do that, and it's so hard to be like to emote when you're wearing a sheet. So you have to use a lot of arm. Like,
which you do well. And I would say for those who are following me, if you don't follow Spooktastics, if you want one, your stuff is funny. Like you actually put a funny spin on paranormal stuff. And it's a funny spin from the experience of being absolutely terrified in the past and then coming into that, embracing that and being like, okay, how do we move forward in a way of understanding and respect? And now you do more paranormal investigation sorts of things. I know you're going to get back at it once Bean is sleeping at some point again.
maybe one day when he's 18, it'll work out that way, and I'll just be old and be like, I don't want to do anything. No, but like one of the things about doing the funny ghost videos is like to think about it. It's like this is generally they're not trying to be nasty. They're not trying to hurt me. Most of them. I reserve the right to pick at least 2 ghosts in my house that were like really out to get me. But other than that, it's literally just them being like, "Why are you in my space, bro? What are you what are you doing in my space?" And I remember saying a long time ago when people were like, your ghost videos are really funny, I was like, yes, laugh at my pain.
But
Laugh at
honestly,
my trauma.
okay, yeah, I relate to that. That's the thing, with Rupert, like, and granted they're less funny. Like Molly's was funny because I was like, usually when I channel, it's all telepathic. So like at most I'm just making expressions. But when Molly showed up out of the blue and he's just like, like he was like, I don't feelings. I was like cackling to myself in a corner of this coffee shop, and I was just like trying to cover it because like people were coming in and they were just like, what is she looking at? And I was just like, Don't look at me. Like, I am having a moment. Like, please.
Do you ever feel mildly psychotic when you're out and like you're just kind of like in your zone and you're doing your thing, and then you can't even imagine what people around you are just like looking at you and they're like, what the hell is that lady doing over there?
So I get this question a lot.
Thank you, Devil's Food.
People are always asking, apparently I laugh too hard because now my makeup's like, oh, I'm gonna go into your face. Um, yeah, so people ask me that a lot. They're like, oh, do you ever feel weird talking to nothing? And I was like, well, one, not nothing, but two, um, because it's primarily me just like making expressions with my face, I don't feel so bad. But oh, thank you for the rose. At the same time, I'm wondering if like the employees at the courthouse are starting to wonder what's wrong with me because like I'll just go sit in front of that, or I'll sit at the bench right out in front of the courthouse where George is, and I'll just be sitting there like, like doing that to seemingly nothing. So
Oh my God. No, but I feel that. I feel that.
if anybody,
It's in the brain most of the time. I said this in your live when I moderated that it's, you can tell when it's not your own thoughts because it kind of comes out of the blue and you'll just be like, this is a really weird, this is really reviving here. Why are you here? Oh, okay. Hello there.
yeah.
Welcome to the party.
And I'll say too, like growing up, I didn't know what claircognizant, clairaudient, I didn't know what any of this was. I was just like, I'm having thoughts. They are intrusive and they don't always seem to be from the same thing. And I don't think they're mine. And I thought I was just losing my mind. I was like, maybe I'm schizophrenic, like I go into a place and I feel emotions that aren't mine. I like feel like someone's trying to reach out to me and I don't know where it's coming from. So for a while I was just like, am I just having this crazy overactive imagination? And it turned out once I started to embrace that and started to look up the history of things, I was like, whoa, that rando vision that I had that took me out of the present for a moment and showed me somebody else's death. Oh, right. Yeah, that was actually someone being like, hey, see me. Like, that was fun. They're like,
Yeah.
this is how it happened. Look, I want to be remembered because they threw me in the river. Look at me. And I was like, no. That was upsetting.
Oh yeah. I feel like I'm just like, I'm gonna throw it out there. It's an Aquarius thing, I swear, because we're both Aquariuses. I feel that back in the day when I was a young buck just getting into this,
a whippersnapper.
A whippersnapper. Back in my day in the early 1900s.
Oh God.
I was the teen medium, and I had many times where we'd go to specific like locations, and like there was the one where I couldn't stop crying as soon as I walked in the door because I felt so much pain and hurt in my heart. It didn't stop until I left the entire building. And then there was the time that I kind of like, I don't know why, but it felt like in my one video when I was talking about pregnancy and ghost stuff, when I said like it hit me like a ton of bricks, I walked into this attic and it literally just like, it's like somebody went, sup, right in my face. And I was just like, whoa. And then I'm literally like watching something happen. I'm not even there for it. Everything looks different. My partner looks at me and goes, you good? I'm like, no. No, I'm not.
I'm not in control of my sight.
Currently. Can you just shush? Be quiet, please, while I focus on this.
Oh my goodness. No, and that's that's fascinating too, like your experiences with being pregnant. Like, I'm not looking to somebody made a joke. Oh my goodness, somebody made a joke. They're like, hey, but ghost babies, am I right? And I was like, hey, but ghost birth control, am I right? Anyway, I thought it was funny. Jay was like, what? Ghost babies? I was like, we're not talking about this.
You know, I've experienced ghost babies. They scream too. It's no different than living babies.
Oh yeah, the cemetery, scream. Right? Like the place that you visit.
Oh yeah.
Explain that to my people.
So, I grew up in a very small town. You wouldn't even know it if you saw it. You would drive right through it. You'd get one stoplight and you'd be like, oh, that's odd. And then you just continue on. Well, the whole town I live in is haunted. I have a whole series about my house specifically. I delve into some of the history of the town as well. And we go to that local cemetery. The reason I started going there was because there was always this local legend about a lady in white,
Yep.
walks in the cemetery, very ethereal looking, and she just kind of does her thing. Always described as like glowing figure, wearing a nightgown, that old chestnut.
Yep.
So that's why we started going there. And then it just seems like since I can't remember the term that my partner uses because she's an academic, so she's got better words to describe things than I do. She's like, it's like a long-term study of a haunting because it's interesting how some of the ghosts are aware of each other, but some other ones are not. We have some ghosts that are highly intelligent and can have a conversation with you, where other ones are just very linear, very like residual thought process from, why am I here? I don't want to be here. Why did I die here? Why am I here? Or the one that said, it asked for help and it actually responded when we said, what do you need help with? They're like, I'm in the ground. And we were like, that sucks, bro.
Leave.
Leave
the ground. Yeah.
Leave the ground. It's a long form study of how enduring a haunting could be, especially with most of the spirits that we've spoken to are over 100 and something years old at this point. They've been gone for over 100 something years. And I did see the lady in white, I think, was not the way other people described it. And it scared the crap out of me because I'm like in the dark. It's really late. I was alone. Don't do that, guys. Don't go ghost hunting by yourself. I'm a foolish person. And I thought I can handle it. I'm a big girl and I could not handle it. I am not a big girl. Saw a person, gonna use quotes, walking in the parking lot of the church on the other side of the cemetery. She was kind of hobbling, doing this. Very long dark hair, wearing a white nightgown. Could not see her face. And I dead stopped. Was on live when this happened. They couldn't see it, of course, because God knows. And she walked behind the building and completely disappeared. Because the building is only so big, I counted how fast she was walking and said she should be on the other side by now. She was gone. She was absolutely disappeared. And ever since then, I've been like, did I see that though? Was I really hallucinating in that moment? Even my husband was like, are you sure you weren't hallucinating? I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Isn't that the best / worst thing when you're like, no, I see it. And then the people on the live are like, but I don't see it. And then they're like, are you crazy? And I'm like, no, it comes down to how the camera perceives is obviously not like our eyes. And I've gotten in the habit since doing ghost tours, and now I just go to like haunted places. If I have somebody with me and I'm like really connecting with somebody, I'll be like, somebody take a picture, take a picture, see if it shows up, And I think this has happened a few amount of times, it something about projection. Ghosts need to understand how to do that and then like play to the phone because most people have the phone. I think the cooler thing that happened, I was in the Bergman Wright house. We were doing the nighttime tour, and my partner had brought a black light, or not a black light, a night cam or a night cam thing that it's an attachment or something for his phone. And I go over to a corner, and there's like an elderly man there who I later connected with for the I'm not going to call it an investigation, but basically when we went back and talked with the executive directors later and like actually went in and filmed on our own. But no, I'm like just staring into this corner once again, seemingly like I'm just like staring off into space, but randomly reacting to this corner. And so Jay sees me and he takes a photo. And the coolest thing, we looked at the photo and there's like this shimmery kind of face that's like right here. And I was like, hey, that's the guy. That's cool. Yeah. And that was it.
So
but
neat.
For that to happen is not as common as I think a lot of people might think it would be. It's just two different mediums.
It's really not that common. Like I had one occasion where I caught and like something that I could for sure say was not normal, and it was during a live, and it was that hand that grabbed my hair. I've talked about this so much, but literally out of all of the things that people have seen and things that we've caught that are kind of suspicious, that's the one that really just without question, I was like, that's not something I can explain, because I had to, like, what kind of bugs exist in Pennsylvania that can fly backwards? Like, that kind of research. It was, and even somebody was like, oh, I thought that was your hand. I was like, no, my hands were here. My hands were here. And it's not like, this is a complaint I have about television shows. So that's why I wanted my own TV show, because I want to make it realistic for people. Like, this is how this really goes. Things don't always happen. You don't always get what you're looking for. You can't force them to do it. They're not on your payroll. And getting them mad, disrespecting them to get them to react to you, and trying to force the situation doesn't work in the long run, because that's how you breed negative energy and make it worse. And I've seen it happen, and it kills me every time, and I just want to punch people in the face.
Yes. I'll say on an addition to that, well, there are many additions I want to have on that, because you were speaking gospel to me and that really resonated. But
that's why we're best friends.
Yes. But okay, as far as like stirring things up goes, wait, maybe I should backtrack from that. One, things won't always show up because they may not like you. Like, it is baffling to me that people always assume, oh, she can talk to ghosts, or she has cool equipment. They're all going to roll out and be like, I want to talk to you. I have been to places before where the ghost is like, no. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? And they're like, I don't care. Nope, I'm not talking to you. I've done readings for people even where they're looking to tap into either an ancestor or a spirit guide. And the answer I get back is, no, you can lead them to me through like, and this is why I primarily do consultations, because it's like, okay, you can lead them to better connecting with me, but I'm not talking to you because it's for them to figure out. But on the other side of that, you were talking about like leaving things unwell, essentially, like yelling at a bunch of things, getting a reaction, and then leaving it poorly. The reason why I ended my live at the Railroad Museum, which you were moderating, which thanks, was what was happening in the hallway was getting a bit too extra. And so I was fine. Like, I wasn't afraid. And thank you once again, Kat, for being like, hey, everybody, if you're getting afraid, you should
take a break.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to keep watching. Rebekah's going to be fine, But essentially, I left the live to go handle the thing in the hallway because I was like, this is inappropriate. I don't like what you're doing. It was projecting itself in a very bad manner, like backwards knees and like pus in their face. And it was a thing. So I was just like, all right, buddy, we talk this out and you can back off and calm down, or I break your energy up into a bunch of pieces and send you on your way. That is the option here. Yeah, exactly. And, of course, a driver who was a spirit there, and he's just like, he's projecting lots of colorful words, which I'm not going to say on this live, but he's just like, get him out of here. Like, I don't like this guy. Like, what is this thing? We don't even know what it is in here. Like, leave, like, get it out. And I'm just like, I don't have all the tools that I would prefer to do this. I could, but I would prefer a few things that I don't have right now. So that was that.
These are my weaknesses here. Like, I'm gonna tell you honestly, like, if you're like, oh, and then I saw it and it had backwards knees, I'm like, I'm out. I don't do backwards knees. There's something about it that just creeps me out. And I don't know.
Well, it is creepy, and that's the thing. It was deliberately trying to look scarier than I think it actually was. And I was seeing something.
And they do that.
They do. Kid was also seeing something, and we both basically agreed. We're like, we see it. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to give it any power. We're going to handle it, and then we're going to go and get a drink later. And that's exactly what we did. We settled it. Everything was good. We left the place just as good as we found it. There was no issue. I was the first person in Monday morning, and I walked around and I was like, good, things are settled. Things are fine. Nothing crazy happened over the weekend. But yeah, exactly as you were saying, it helps to just be with somebody who can just sit there and be like, yep, I do see it. Yeah, yes.
Brig, my moderator said, was it human in quotes? And I remember you saying, you were like, I'm not going to use the word because that's not the correct way to describe it, but it's not quite what I was expecting it to be. Because guys, you know me. I'm not one that's like, I can feel the energy from this live stream. But when I watched her live stream, I was like, this isn't kosher currently. Like, I can feel the tension and the static coming through this. I was like, I don't know if maybe it's because I've been watching so consistently through this live, or maybe it's just because for some reason I'm suddenly sensitive. Gosh knows I can smell somebody cooking 4 apartments away at this point. That's cool. But yeah, even I was like, something is uncomfy in this currently. Everybody, go take a water break. Take a hydration break right now. I think we all need a second.
And you saw
Yes,
too.
not the word.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing though. I want to explain this because I was trying to make sure that people were aware. Just because you're seeing something that looks like it's moving, keep in mind on live streams, digitalization when lighting is not great or it's very hazy looking doesn't mean it's a ghost. I was trying to keep people on that, mind level because I'm a buzzkill. And everybody was like, but I see it moving. And I thought I saw something move in the library, but when I was looking in the railroad room in that hallway, it wasn't like it was there. Like, it wasn't like physically there, but you could see it as an outline, like a staticky outline of something very tall and very broody. And I was like, am I seeing this right, or am I losing my mind again? I must need to talk to somebody. I better call the therapist again. I feel like, and that's something I used to be able to do back in the day. And that's how they come out sometimes. They're not fully fleshed out. They're just kind of figures, outlines of figures that have little around them. You're like, oh. And then you wait to see what they do. And then you go from there.
Yeah. And for those who are asking, yes, you can watch a live stream. I did post it on my YouTube, and YouTube is linked in the bio. It's Quirks and Conjure. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the comments on the recorded lives. I personally would love that. But yeah, I guess you're just going to have to believe that every now and then we did this and we read something and we're like, yeah. So if you want to go watch that live stream, leave feedback. You're welcome to. It is like an hour and a half. So if you want to skip around, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to be upset. But me sitting over here, please watch all of it. Like, no. But yeah, I would say, okay, what we were dealing with as far as what was in the hallway, one is not like always around. It's not like all over the museum. It's not, scaring people. It's nothing like that. I would describe it as a tulpa. A tulpa that basically just not human. I don't think it was at some point. Could have been an animal at one point. But just basically lives off of the energy of others. And in this particular case, not good energy. There were a number of tragic deaths that happened at the museum before it was a museum, when it was still a freight house. And that was, working for the railroad was one of the more dangerous jobs in the country. So there's some energy that happened there, and it's not always there, but every now and then it shows up because it was probably like, whoa, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And then it got all creepy and was like, what are you doing here? And yeah, I was just like, we can be here. And it was like, no, you can't.
I have to say, hello, Nebraska Paranormal. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Hi, Catherine the Great. I didn't get to say hi to you before, but hello. I love you. You're great. My Canadian friend.
Yay!
Appreciate you being here from the Great White North. I think, so here's you're speaking on something that's not technically like under the umbrella of what a ghost hunter would be looking for. They'd be like, we are here for the dead people. To be honest with you guys, it's not always dead people. And to me personally, if other ghost hunters want to come, debate that with me in the comments, it's fine. But I feel like it is very important when you're ghost hunting to be pretty well versed in other ideas of what a spirit could be. Just because something exists and it's in a book and it's a specific place from a specific thing and they have names and things doesn't mean it doesn't apply. you have to really kind of do the work and legwork. And sometimes I've dealt with non-human spirits before, and I'm not saying it's not the thing. It's not the thing. But sometimes your thoughts can invoke existence into things, telling the same story. Oh, I know of this spooky place you can go to, but there was never a haunting there. You've manifested it yourself, which is exactly what a poltergeist is. It's not a spirit, it's the manifestation of energy, and it gets very combative, and that's where you get things that do this, which 9 times out of 10 is actually bullcrap. But hey, it is what it is. You know, there's a certain amount of spirituality and understanding of spirituality that you should have as somebody who deals with the paranormal, generally speaking.
And it's fascinating too that I think people can have different they can have different definitions of what these things are, and it doesn't make one more right or wrong than the other. I think that's what makes the afterlife more fascinating. It's not going to be black and white, at least not right now. Maybe it will be in a little bit, but like in our time period, there is room for differences in expression and definition, and yet there still can be a truth. That's why, once again, like with consultations, I always ask the person, I'm like, okay, what do you believe in? What is your context of the afterlife and your personal journey? Because it should be personal. Like, you should have personal experience with what is out there. Like, even if it's just, you being like, and when I say personal experience, I don't mean like literally go out and have a ghost experience. I mean, like, think about it. Think about what's out there, have a definition for yourself, and then we work from there. I don't put my beliefs on other people, because the belief that we have on our own is always going to work the strongest for us.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, my husband and I were talking about that very thing, and he's like, well, if the case is that, it's not a demon, why do ghosts react to, like God and such? And I was like, well, if you look back to the last couple of centuries of human existence, the fear of God was put in them to keep them in line. Go to church, be a good neighbor. If you don't do this, God will smite you. It's inherently in their belief system, which is why they would react to it, at least in my opinion. That doesn't mean that they came up from the bowels of hell and were like, I just want to mess everything up. Do you have pizza rolls? No. And just because you can't explain what exactly you're dealing with in the space, because it's not reading well, it's reacting, but it's not consistent, something like that, doesn't mean it's a demon. It doesn't mean it's a demon.
There's so much out there. And us saying, giving more power to demon doesn't help, because that means literally any ghost at any level could come up to you and be like, I'm a demon. And then you'd be like, oh no, and you freak out. And it's just like Ted, who died 50 years ago. And he's a joker. But then Ted is like, I'm going to get energy off of you because you put value and, weight in the word demon. It's like, nah. I've had
in some
spirits.
Context, just because it says I'm a demon doesn't mean that it's a demon.
No.
Sorry. Burst.
Yeah, I've had spirits come up, and this happened on one of my ghost tours. Poor girl, she was so scared. She didn't want to talk about it, but her mom came up to me afterwards, and she said, hey, my daughter heard something. She didn't want to say anything, but she's like really upset. And I was like, whoa, what happened? And the daughter heard clearly that the location we were at said, from a deep voice, this is a portal to hell. This place is a portal to hell. And this poor girl, she was like near the point of tears. And I was like, honey, a ghost just done played a trick on you. This is not a portal to hell. This is not any more portal than any other place is. You're not going to get trapped here. Your soul's fine. You're okay. And she's like, but how do you know? I was like, because I feel it and you feel it too. That thing played a trick on you.
If I was in your position and somebody would have come to me, I would have looked in that ghost direction and been like, oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. How about that? I didn't notice. Wow, that's incredible.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people throw the portal idea about my house a couple of times, and I don't think that it's a portal per se. I just think the land is cursed from all of the bull crap that happened there, and it just so happens that that's where the house is. And it's not so much that they're like crawling through this like little opening, and they're like, they're there, and they're just gonna keep being there. You like my sound effects? I gotta keep it light. Ghosts are scary, man. Like, they just want to kill you. Ghosts can't hurt you, by the way, like the TikTok said, because if they could, there'd be a lot less white men on the planet. Just saying. White people in general. That was the funniest TikTok. I got tagged in that like 5
I love that guy. I was following him beforehand, and I was like, bless. Yep.
Bless.
Nah. Yeah, I was like, yep. There was something I saw.
It gave me the giggles.
Oh, something as far as, yeah, as far as like portals go. Oh, thank you, Noel. And you were talking about your house. Like, once again, energy may attract like energy. So if you have all of this negative energy and all these terrible things that have happened, it can create its own, once again, energy. Like, I call them negative thought form spirits. And that, if not broken up appropriately, through cleansing or just happier memories or something like that, it can breed more terrible thoughts. Like, a family can move in and start, just getting angry at each other. Yeah. So, like,
wow, you lived with me too? You met my mom? Oh my God.
More like, oh, you lived with me too? You met my dad.
Yay! Consistently difficult parents. Jesus Christ. Does it? I swear we've all had that problem at some point. Like, all of us. Like, we get into like the weird of the world because we were just like, well, this gotta be better than this. Like, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart can't take it.
Oh,
you make a valid point, though. You make a valid point, especially because a lot of the questions that I get asked about my house, the most prevalent question is, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened? And you can't pick just one thing. I have a top 5. And I've told about 3 of those stories because some of them I just don't really want to talk about anymore because they make me uncomfortable. But one is about nightmare fuel in the basement. And I got 1,000 questions about him, like, do you think he's a human? Do you think he's a demon? Why is he there? Blah, 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 blah. First of all, I think he was a person at one point. Mm-hmm. I think he was a human being. Do I think he's buried behind the wall? You know what? We don't know. I don't think we're ever really going to know. But if he is, that's uncomfortable. I don't think he's a demon. I think that he gained all of his energy from all of the negativity that I grew up with. My mom was not a nice person. I suffered through my own emotional turmoils. I wound up changing schools. I got bullied so bad in school, I changed schools. I was miserable and depressed all the time. Lots of negative energy just manifesting over and over and over again. And then eventually he sucked in enough and then came to me in a dream and was like, I'm here and I'm ready. And I still, to this day, as an adult person who has not lived in that house in years, hate going in the basement. Like, I feel eyes on me every time I walk down there. And the one time, there was the EVP I got when I just left a recorder down there, and that was about a year ago. And it said, "Welcome home, cat," in a very deep, gruffy voice. That was uncomfy.
No,
and then
it's like a horror movie.
It was literally, I have a TikTok about it. It's somewhere down in the bottom, but it was uncomfortable. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh. And then the last time I went down there, I was like, oh, you want to talk? I'm here. Talk to me. You want to start? Let's go. I'm here. I got this. Let's go. And I just felt a shiver go down my body and I don't know why. I guess I wasn't ready, but he just like went, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to start trouble. I just wanted to talk. And then I'm like, up the stairs. I felt like a child again. I swear. I was a kid again, and I needed to get out because if I didn't get to the top of the stairs in 50 seconds, I was going to die. That's what it felt like. That
was like finding the clown lamp that I had as a kid that killed me in a dream many, many times. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, it looks like it looks like it should be this cute clown lamp, and apparently, like, my aunt made it for me, and that's from the side of the family I don't really associate with. And but apparently she had drama with the family, and like she had made it, so I'm like, whoa, what kind of intention did she put into this? And then like apparently my sister, when she had the clown lamp, because she had it first, she was having dreams about like a little boy, and she was also having like these terrible vivid nightmares. And then I got the clown lamp and I started having these dreams, and that's why I initially shut off a lot of my ability, because they were so bad, like, and I would wake up seeing things. It was just so much. um I thought the clown lamp had gone away because I have not had it since I was small child. um and lo and behold, my mother saved the clown lamp, and I found it just randomly on, just there it was. And I was just like, no, 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 no. But yeah, it even so, I'm like sitting there with it, and I'm like, do I handle you right now? Like, do I fix this essentially? But then I'm also blocked by like my past fears, right? And I was just like, what do I, what,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you are. And all the while, me sitting here with like the experiences that I've had and the things that I've done, I was just like, still like, I don't know. What do I do? And so what do I do? I made a TikTok about it. I was just like, hey, buddy.
You said clowns, you said lamps, you said feelings, and I was just, in my head, I was like, thanks, I hate it. I hate it.
And I'm not afraid of clowns. I do not have a clown phobia. I took a clown class in college because that's what you do at art school. Um, no, it is this lamp. It is this lamp. So that's that.
I there's an item. Now, mind you, my mom didn't believe in like therapy. She really didn't believe in ghosts in the beginning. She believed that the only ghosts in our house was my father and my brother, and anything else was made up. Wrong. But there is one thing that she couldn't explain that scared her to the point that she had to call other people to deal with it. And I'm not talking paranormal investigators. I'm just talking other people with hands to touch the thing. We have a item in my family that has been passed down on my mother's side, and it has a really cute name. I can't wait to tell you. It's called the death clock. It is literally this little mantle clock. It's got to be at least like, it has to be from like the 30s. And apparently it has accurately told the time of death for every woman in my family since it was bought.
Yeet.
And
Yeet.
guess who got to take it home after my grandmother died, when it started ticking again, and it stopped after it gave a time, and that's the time she passed away. My mom. Yeah. So it's at the house currently. My sister said, you know what? Your followers would love the death clock. You should take it to your house. I said, how about no? That's your problem. I'm not touching it. When I was cleaning once, I was walking by the table it's on, and you can't touch it. If you touch it, it might start ticking, because it also started ticking when my mom accidentally touched it too. Just going to throw that out there. I was vacuuming, and I bumped the table, and I heard the chime, and I started sobbing. I was like, I'm going to die. And yeah, no family member will touch it. It is kind of one of those, they think that what I do on TikTok is a little ridiculous, but they believe in the clock. No question. The clock is real. I was like, we should investigate it one time. Not touch it, but like put a light by it and be like, is this haunted by family at this point? Because it has an energy, which is really weird. Like, you walk by it, you feel uncomfortable. I don't know why. Just a random clock.
Put like
Just a random clock.
Get like a recorder and just put it next to it, and maybe ask some questions and then just get out of there. Then like pick it up like a few hours later and be like, all right, like we're gonna find out. No, I hate
Somebody
it.
who is not related or married into my family can't. They're the only ones that can touch it. No family members can touch it. Even if you're married into the family, you can't touch it. Like, it's a rule. We just don't. We just don't touch it.
That's terrible. I hate it. Yeah. Also, speaking of not touching
not for
it,
men, just women, Vesta.
Rude. That's
not
rude.
Men.
Rude.
Yeah, that's rude. It's a misogynistic clock.
Yes. It's out to kill the women of the family. Yes. The patriarchy clock.
Oh yes. So I have a thought of whose it is then. Just thinking about old family members, like, ugh.
Maybe you should have a conversation with them. Be like, "Hi, we get it. It was a really good joke. You can stop now. Like, you can just stop. That'd be good. Thanks so much." Okay,
And I
Mayra.
don't even have any older family that I could ask about it because all of my like matriarchs of my family are gone. My mom, my grandma, my great grandma, all my grandparents are gone on either side. So I don't even have a family history book to talk to anymore. I just have to guess. Like, what's my family history on my medical stuff? Oh, I don't know. Guess they'll find out eventually.
Yeah, sounds like a perfect time for a family channel session. Sit down with a, tool of choice and be like, "Hey, fam."
Hey, you're welcome to talk to my mom. I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. She is a difficult person in life and in death. So have
Great.
fun with that.
That's even
Oh
better,
my
right?
gosh.
Just raise the tensions and terrible feelings. Great.
And
Great.
it's funny how on my mom's side it was like she was so resistant to all of it. She told me I was crazy. She tried to get me committed, tried to say that I was schizophrenic. And then on my dad's side of the family, my aunt was like, "Don't you know, like, your family's full of psychics and witches dating back like forever?" I'm
Of
like,
course.
"Oh, cool.
P.S.
Neat
I'm
stuff,
calling
man.
my
Neat
dog
stuff."
back. That's why I've gone out of the frame. I'm still here. I'm like a spirit.
The disembodied voice of Rebekah. Tell us. Oh, she manifested. Now it's not fun.
Said no investigator ever. Oh no, they're manifesting.
Ever.
Oh man.
That's what we look for the most. That's what we want. We were like, "Can you appear?" And it's like I feel like we don't realize what a big ask that actually is. Because like when your batteries die and you feel lethargically tired afterwards and they've been trying, you did that to yourself. Because that's where they're pulling from.
hmm
You
Well,
know how that goes.
I think too, I just remember something funny from the museum live. And, we gave Driver a cigar. And when I say we, I mean like Cat. Like I translated that he would like a cigar and Cat, kid. So many K names. Um, anywho, I translated that he would like a cigar, to which he shoved some other spirits out of the way in order to get said cigar, which was also funny. Now when I mentioned it and I was like, he would like a cigar, like two other railroad guys like rolled up into the doorway and they're like, "I want a cigar. Who has the cigar?" And Driver's like, "No, F you." But he didn't say F. He said the full. But he's like, "No, I get the cigar. I will kill you again." Like that was it. Like I was just like, but he's sitting there with the cigar, and I'm like, maybe he'll manifest because he has this energy from the cigar. And granted, the cigar's still on the ground for anybody who's like, whoa, he picked up the cigar. That's so cool. The cigar's on the ground. He was using the energy from the cigar, like using the essence of it. But he's sitting there like this with cigar. And I was like, hey, maybe you could, try to show yourself like you've done a few times in the past. And he's just like, nah, I'm having a good time. I'm smoking. No.
I want to be his friend. I love his personality. He just
Driver's great.
exists, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he's like, "I'm
"Deal with
smoking."
it. I will kill you again."
Yeah, I mean, really though.
I made that threat.
Yeah, yeah.
I made that threat.
Because I gotta go get my dog because she's being
Yeah,
difficult.
go grab the pup.
Mayra, are
Yeah,
you under the bus?
manifesting spirits is not an easy task, and you could beg for hours in an investigation or in a session and be like, "Please, please, please." But if they don't want to do it, they're not gonna do it.
If they'd
Or
rather
if they
smoke
do
a
do
cigar.
it, it could drain you to oblivion and you're going to be exhausted afterwards because you're like a battery. I don't know if you guys realize it. You're a battery. You've got all of this energy, which I think is part of the reason why we had such an uptick of activity in the cemetery while I was pregnant, because I literally was like a double D battery. I had him and then myself, and then there was Julianne with us, and then it was so crazy how much more physical things were happening. Her reacting to something, which she never does because nothing like that ever happens. Things flying off of the graves, things getting broken, things like just going nuts. And now I'm like, oh, but if I go now and are they going to be able to do the thing, or are they going to be like, well, we're not going to be here no more. Bye. We're going to leave. Like, we can't leave, but like, we're not going to be around you, okay?
See, I can see this now, basically Bean growing up, and I'm just calling him Bean forever. That's it. Yeah, and I'm gonna meet him one day, and I'll be like, "You are Bean." Oh, that was my dog with her butt knocking over my tripod. But yeah, I'm going to meet him and be like, "You are Bean." And he's gonna be like, "No, I have a name." I'm like, "You are Bean." That's it. So that's one. Two, the second thing to say is one day when he is, famous for his incredible mediumship and paranormal investigative abilities, he's going to be like, everyone, I was born into this. I was created with ghosts. Not in a gross way, but in an appropriate way.
Oh my God. You merely chose the paranormal. I was born in it, molded by it.
I am the paranormal.
I didn't see my first human being till I was almost a man.
This poor child.
I see, I've had dreams about him being grown and him being like an internet personality with ghosts and stuff. And then him just being like, oh, we're going on vacation. Cool. Mom, is this hotel haunted? God, couldn't just have one normal vacation? We gotta go ghost hunting every time? Like, yes.
This is accurate.
Every
Yeah.
chance we get. I think maybe he'll be the one to change science's mind about what is considered true evidence, because God knows they don't give us any parameters. They're just like, nah, that's not real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm once again going after my dog. She doesn't run away. She just casually walks away. But she's coming back now.
Just like I do. When we're in the cemetery and I'm like, I'm just gonna go look at this real quick. Julia's like, don't you dare. Don't you leave me here.
Where's Kat? She's casually walking away. Well.
I'm very interested though to have you either like me come down there, because I want to experience Driver in person. And I just want to be in the essence of it, and I want to go to like where Rupert is and see if his energy is strong enough that I could like. And I feel like I was like, George and I could be friends. I could see it. I could see us just being like, what up, buddy? But I'm so curious if you come here and visit and I take you to the Ville, how it's going to feel.
I'll just like roll up and be like, hi, everybody. I'm here. I have made it.
Be like, who is this person? Oh, Oliver, that's Rebekah. She's going to do the thing. And he's just going to be like, where's Julianne?
Exactly.
That's my girlfriend.
Exactly though. And that's like the thing with Rupert. Because some people have been like, oh, I've gone to the places where you said Rupert was, and I didn't pick up on him. And some of these people, one, they're still coming into abilities, so they're like, it could have been me. But the other thing is, I'm like, yeah, well, one, Rupert's not literally there 24/7. He's doing ghost things or something. And the other thing is, he's not so interested in talking to most people. He's just out there. George, yeah, he would be fine with you. He'd be like, yes, entertainment, entertain me. Like, that'd be it. Driver, if Kid is with us, he will likely show up. If you offer him a cigar, now we all know what he likes. So yeah, that will entice him. But Driver is to Kid as Rupert is to me in that sense, where it's like Driver will show up for Kid. That's it. Otherwise, he's like, nah, I got stuff to do.
Well, now I'm upset because I'm like, well, which ghost is my friend? Because it's not Oliver. Oliver likes Julianne. So I guess I just get George so me and him can yell at each other all night. That sounds about correct.
That's a special friendship, one that might need counseling, but it is special nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a special love. It's a special hate kind of relationship. Just stop being rude to me. Get out of my cemetery. That whole thing.
The little chestnut. Yeah.
Yeah, I've yet to really find a ghost that really likes talking to me other than my ghost from when I was growing up. That's the only ghost that ever like consistently was like, "This is my friend," and I was like, "Cool, you're dead, but that's cool. I'm gonna tell my other friends, like my living friends," and they were like, "Cat, you crazy?"
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, no question, certifiably. I mean, yeah, just a smidge, just a smidge. You've got to be a little bit somewhere else to do what we do
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, it was interesting. I made that it was that trend video of the past self or something like that that's happening right now with like the happy sad song that woman made. The anyway, it's with you talking to your past self, right? That is the trend. And I did that and it was flattering because some people watched it and they were like, I never believed that there was a time when you had no friends. And I was like, there was a time when I had no friends. There was a time. But I talked to spirits all the time, which kind of helped, but it also didn't because I was like, why does nobody alive like me? Why?
Ooh, that hurt me right in the heart because I feel that. I really do. Didn't have friends for a real long time. And I now look at us. We're internet personalities. Like, I actually found out somebody who used to be like like one of my best friends back in the day completely blocked me on social media, and I was like, "Oh, you jelly?" Like, I'm mad, but like it's so crazy. Like, I grew up, my mom hated me, people hated me. I
I
had
think your
dead people to talk to.
did your mom like anybody though? Like, let's be fair. Okay.
My dad,
Oh, okay.
who was dead, so no, nobody really. She liked her cat, Mr. Scoop. Mr. Scoop was the cat. And I think part of the reason why she mentally declined was when he eventually died at the ripe old age of 18. So it's not like he was little and like it was an accident. He literally had like an old age illness. And she was like, I'm going to take him home. I will keep him alive. I'm like, no, let him go. And ever since then, she, that
You
was
know,
rough. That
there's
was
something
rough.
there's something to be said about that. Somebody, and this is, I guess, on a more serious note. Because also in my past self thing, I talked, or myself in the past or whatever. I talked about my dog, who was my friend, by the way. He was my friend. I was a weirdo, and he was my friend anyway. Um, but somebody made a rather serious comment, and they were just like, "Hey, they were talking about their pet that had passed a few years back, and they were just like, I'm still grieving. Like how do you ever get over it?" And I was like, well, one, you never, it's not a getting over, it's learning to live with. Um, but it's also, I feel like it's a release. I remember after my dog passed, I remember thanking whatever was out there, higher power, spirits, whatever. I said, thank you so much for giving me this time. I release the energy back to you that was given to me for this amount of time. I had a moment, like, and that's exactly what I needed. And I wanted more time, but I was like, I was given the time, and that in itself was that blessing.
Grief is not linear. I know that they talk about the 5 stages of grief, like it's a process that's easy to get through and you can categorize your stages. No, like I think the best description I ever heard of grief was some days you're totally fine. You can think about them and smile. Other days you think about them and you break down in tears. It's not something that you just get over. It's something that you move with. And then it goes from being, I wish they were here, why can't I have them more, to, you know, I had a great time while they were still here. I miss them terribly, but I'm so happy that I had that moment in time. As brief as it was, or as long as it was, you can always have that. That'll never go away, no matter what. You'll always have memories, and you'll always have the feelings that you had when they were there. Pet
And
deaths hit me hard, man.
Oh, for sure. I think too, Neil deGrasse Tyson actually talked about this as my dog walks away. Why, dog? Anyway, he talked about how there is life after death because energy never dies. And that's something I relate to a lot of people. I'm like, look, you can be an atheist and still think of the energy that lives on just because your memories of them live on. Literally, their body is giving life to other things at this point. You know, there's just so many more ways that they live on, even just talking about people, going to the places that you used to go to with them. All of that, in a sense, is life after death. And it's also for us to experience when we think or we share these stories or we do these things because that in its own way, you know, exceeds death.
On that, it's something that is part of the ghost hunting thing with death. Even though a lot of the ghosts that I've spoken to, that you've spoken to over the years, died so long ago, I can understand their desire to want to be seen, to be remembered. They feel forgotten because that's kind of one of the biggest fears. It's not, I don't feel like it's the fear of death itself. Like, you're not going to know. It's going to just be, and it is what it is. But I think it's that fear of being forgotten over time, losing all of that memory of you on this earth because everybody who did remember you doesn't exist anymore. And there are some spirits I've interacted with that I grieved because of this, what happened to them or how hurt they are. Like with Mary, as you guys in my chat know, Mary, having that EVP of I didn't want to die in this place broke my heart because, oh my gosh, like I can't even imagine. You were sick for so long. You get dragged around half of the eastern side of the United States to help your condition to ultimately wind up in this tiny little podunky town, and then you die. And then having a husband that's a complete horrible POS, but just, and then leaving your young children behind, and then you're in a place you don't recognize, and you're just gone. I cried when I heard it. Oh my God, I cried. And I grieved for her. I did. And it's so hard sometimes because you'll hear stories and you'll find evidence of horrible things. And I think it helps them a little bit because then they don't feel so alone, especially when they've been dead for hundreds of years. I'm sure with people like Rupert, who started and couldn't communicate well, to finally having a voice, to being able to communicate with you and not being forgotten in the end of it. Because in generality, he's just kind of there, watching the world go by. And then some really amazingly talented, gorgeous person just walks over and is like, hi, what's up? And he's just like, why is that lady's thigh out?
Please narrate my life.
I would happily do that for you. Yes, that's our Travel Channel show. She exists, and I'm just over here like, hi, my name's Rebekah, and I'm about to F shit up. Let's go.
Wait, we should narrate each other's lives. I'll be like, yes, I am Kat. My mother and I don't get along, and my mother had a cat who died at 18, but it was still too soon, and my house was really haunted, and there was an angry man in the basement who gave me bad dreams.
You would make my life sound really elegant and like fun. I would make you sound like you just like walked into the room, kicked the door, and went, where's the party? Like, you make me sound like a lady. I'm going to make you sound like a gremlin. I'll have to pull out my narrator voice.
See, I'm fine with it though. I'm fine with it. People are going to be like, wow, I think Rebekah is like 9 feet tall. And I'll be like, yes, yes, I am.
I'm just gonna misinform everybody about you in general. I'll just be like, Rebekah one time punched a ghost square in the face in front of people. It was incredible. She was literally just doing this, and they were like, should we call somebody? Like, she's just losing it on the air right now. Like, oh gosh, darn H2O in the air. Water vapor.
I mean, we say that
That happened. I was there.
we say that like it's a like it's never happened on TV before, but I know you and I have both seen ghost shows where someone goes on there and it's like, I'm possessed, and then they start punching the air.
Just thinking, I did a sound for that too. I just wanted to rip out your throat and let you bleed out, but I'm fine right now. I'm fine right now.
Yeah, it's like, I'm
Don't
good
go
though.
away from me.
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm good. I'm seeing stuff out of the corner of my eyes.
Okay, for the record, I've had one instance where some emotion took over me before I realized what was happening. Didn't try to kill anybody. Didn't try to rip out throats. Literally, I felt the energy and the feeling from the spirit we were trying to talk to was so overwhelming. I literally just kind of went, and then I was pissed. I was furious because the guy leading the investigation was being abhorrent. He was screaming at this ghost. He's like, square up, bro, square up. And I just literally was like, what are you doing? And then I was really calm and chill. And then suddenly I was like, I'm going to hurt this man. And it was not my own feelings. It was somebody else. And they just wanted to make it known. And then after, when I told him what I was feeling, he goes, you're possessed. And we had a pastor there. He's like, you need to get blessed. You're possessed. And I was just like, buddy, no. Still how that works.
I think people lose the reality where, like, you'll see mediums channel and they're not at this Mayra. No, you've lost privileges at walking on your own anymore. I talk to my dog like I talk to children. Anywho, yeah, mediums, when they're in a good headspace, they're not super emotional. They're very at balance because they realize that emotions can be used against them because you're dealing with things that live in emotion when you're dealing with spirits.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Here. Come here. Come
and
here.
if you're not there, like, the best mood to be in when you're gonna go out and deal with ghosts is as calm and collected as humanly possible. That's why we say, don't get scared, don't scream, don't run, don't freak out. Just keep yourself calm. The calmer you are, the better you're gonna do.
Yeah.
They can't hurt you. They just want to bug you. It'll be okay. Don't worry.
Yep.
But then, they've got the spirits are coming. And then they're like, I'm going to kill everyone in here. And that... Wait.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater. I'm realistic. No.
Yeah, like, and I'll sit here. I actually love ghost shows. I laugh at a lot of them, but I have a great time. And I'll watch some and I'll be like, whoa, that's fascinating. Like, I want to go there or I want to do something. Sorry, everybody who keeps hearing me clapping. It's my dog. She's like, I want to go over here. And I'm like, please do not. I cannot see you. Anyway. But yeah, I enjoy some ghost shows because I'm like, this is fascinating. If this is real, this is great. And then people are like, well, don't you know that it's real? You're one of them. And I'm like, well, I'm not there. So, no. I'd have to be there.
I'm like, that's not... Oh, Jamie Algie said, shut up. Two of my favorite paranormal TikTokers. Hi, Jamie. Yep. Somehow I convinced her to be my friend. The ransom will be paid shortly.
How did we start talking?
That's something that I've heard too.
I don't remember how we started
talking.
talking.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. How do you not know that's real? Okay, so for my last 2 live streams, I've been watching real ghosts caught on camera with my live, and you know what? No, not. We had all of 3 videos out of like 20 something that were actually like, okay, that's a little odd. But every other one was like easily explainable, easily like could figure out 2 ways to figure out how to do this and this and this. And I was like, oh man, I'm upset. Like, I'm so upset. But it
See,
was fun.
I enjoy those things even when I know that it's like clearly fake. Like Jay and I had a series on YouTube for a little while, and we'd love to do it again. It's just a matter, it takes a lot of time to edit it because you're editing footage on top of recording footage. Mira, no, you're
Yeah.
staying with me. But it was called Is It Real and How to Deal? And we would just watch these shows. And here's the thing, we would always give them the benefit of the doubt. We'd be like, okay, clearly that's a guy in like in a sheet. However, if it were real, what would it be and how would you deal with it? And honestly, it's almost like pop quizzes for like paranormal slash medium people, because it's a fun way to look at this stuff and be like, is it real? We don't know. It might not be. However, if it were, how would you deal with it? And that way, when, like when dealing with the scarier stuff, it's been very chill for me because I'm like, oh, I already saw that guy in a sheet that one time, and I came up with this idea of how I would deal with it, and now I'm seeing, I don't even know what that is, but it kind of reminds me of the guy in the sheet, just real. So this is how I'm gonna deal with you.
I know I said ghosts can't hurt you, and they can. Just for the record, they cannot. However, there are some scary mofos out there who, manifest with backwards knees, or will get a very, like, demon-esque kind of look to them, and, like, you'll see the eyes, and you'll see them all be broody and tall and scary looking. Do not get it twisted. I get scared. You wouldn't know, because I try to keep a very calm exterior, or I'm not in camera. So I'm be like, oh, I'm seeing something really terrifying out in the distance. Hey, guys, welcome to the live. Like, it would be ridiculous to say that there aren't scary things out there, because there are. There's a lot of scary things. You're not as into the cryptozoology thing as I
No,
am.
that
But
freaks me out.
if I was out in the woods and I was like seeing some like Bigfoot creatures, I'd leave. I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even attempt. I would just go.
I don't know how to handle a Bigfoot. If I saw one, I'd be like, what? I'd be like, I'll
I'm
leave.
still trying to figure out how to deal with coyotes. Like, do I hit them? Do I like square up? Do I just salt myself and accept death? Like, I don't know what to do with them other than just wait for them to stop doing what they're doing, or for them to go do something else. Like, we'll sit there and they'll go, ow, 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 and we're like, dang it. Let's hope this isn't the night. Let's just hope this isn't the night. But when it comes to being out and doing ghost hunting, there's something very important that I want Rebekah and I to talk about, and that is your code of conduct. Because I see it way too often on TikTok where people acting fools, and I just wanna.
Is this the tea? Are you going to share the tea? The tea that we talked about?
So, yes, I will share the tea that we talked about. And if I'm referencing who you know with this conversation, I am only going based off of what I understand of the situation. I received the information from somebody who was in this live stream, who saw it happening in real time, and they are defending their position that they, did not do these things, and that's fine. I'm not saying that they did it. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm saying that generally speaking, we could do a lot better. So we're going to talk about this. If you're going to go to a location that doesn't generally allow paranormal investigations anymore, probably for this very reason, it does not mean you should take it upon yourself to break into rooms because you just want to do it. If they tell you you can't film, you can't film. Don't do it. And don't steal offerings from spirits. If they're for the spirit, that is how you get haunted. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And I want to go to cool places too, guys. Trust. I really do. But we recently had, apparently there was a situation on a live stream where somebody, they crashed a wedding. They were trying to go in a place they weren't supposed to. They were taking offerings from other spirits. They were acting very foolish. And they got removed from the place. It was at the Stanley Hotel. We all know the Stanley Hotel. It's a very popular paranormal destination, but they don't do ghost hunts anymore. This is why. This kind of stuff is why. They limit what you can do, which is fair. It is their business to do as they wish. You have to respect that. If you're going to go there and stay at a hotel and you're staying there as a guest, it doesn't give you free reign to do whatever you want. I am looking to go to bed and breakfasts that I know are haunted in the area. Am I just going to go there and not tell them why I'm going there to do the things? Absolutely not. I'm going to give them a full rundown of what I want to do and see if that's okay first. Because that's what you're supposed to do. You can't just take it in your own hands. Don't be disrespectful. It hurts my soul that you are willing to spread misinformation about locations and are willing to literally trespass. Don't do that. I'll find you. I'm gonna hurt you. That's a joke, TikTok. That's a joke. That is a joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke, TikTok.
It's a
joke. It's a joke.
If somebody were to come up on your street and be antagonizing Rupert to get him to do something, well, first off, Rupert would probably just wreck them. Like, he'd probably just want to hit him in the face. He'd square up a little bit late.
Or he'd blip out. He'd be like, blip. He'd be like, I'm not dealing with it.
But you don't do that.
No,
so I can understand if people go look for him because they're like, oh, it's Rupert. I'm going to find Rupert. But if they're going to disrespect him.
No. And I told people too, I was like, if you want to help out Rupert, keep the house that he works in front of alive. Offer a donation to their nonprofit museum. They did not pay me to say this. Like, I just genuinely love their museum and I love the people who work there. And then I found Rupert and I was like, wow, well, share the love. All of this is great. But no, I would get very defensive. I've had some people be like, you should send him to the light. This is irresponsible. I was like, he's going to do what he wants to do. He's going to do what he wants to do.
Whiskey Wild After Dark said, I thought you were going to talk about the guy in the basement, been on live for the last 48 hours, it seems. What? What? 48 hours? Doing a ghost hunt? That's a long time.
I mean,
that's a long time.
Is it did they go to sleep in the middle of the 48 hours or are they still awake? Because I would see a lot of things if I were awake after 48 hours.
True. Very true. Please just give us more information because that's okay. Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I don't. Oh, wait, because you said it. Now my brain's back on track because that just really distracted the heck out of me. Oh, hi, Carissa. I love you. You're the best, Carissa. Thank you for taking up the mantle while I was gone and being a bad A that I can't TikTok. When you said not letting them go to the light is irresponsible, excuse me. Shush your face, because you have no idea what that actually entails. Where are they going? Do they know where they're going? Do they want to go? Are you going to be able to get them there seamlessly? Do they even want to go?
It's a personal
Just
decision.
They're here doesn't mean that you can't take the spirit's autonomy, especially if they're intelligent. Do not take their autonomy away of their existence. They've come to grips with it and they're there. They know what's going on and they're cool with it. Do not do that. And how irresponsible to make that comment at all when you have no idea what it takes to really do it. I'm going to just slam my face into the earth, rocket through the planet and into space.
Well, on that note, I will find it, I continuously find it fascinating. The people who are not mediums or involved in the paranormal or anything, and they make these grand assumptions on what we do and how we do it and how we perceive and how we understand. And it's one thing to ask a question. Like, I love it when people ask questions because they're just like, wait, I thought it was this. Am I like, what is that? You know, that is fine. Curiosity is good. Everybody should be curious so they can come up with their own definition of what is going on out there. That's important. But when you get to if you're going to start putting a box on somebody else and their I'm not going to say profession because that makes it sound like it's all about money. It's not. But what they do, how they perceive, no. Like, that's the thing. There was this guy who did not believe in psychic mediums, whatever, and he was like, my dead friend knows of one word that is in this envelope that we sealed, And if there's a true psychic medium out there, I will pay them $1,000, which one is not that much money if you're really good at what you do. But two, they're like, they have to tell me the one word in this envelope from my dead friend. But I don't believe any of this will ever happen, so they will never come forward. But, I'm going to be calling out scammers until then. And I was just like, dude, one, we can channel things without getting a single word. Two, you just said you didn't believe in us, so that's fine. I don't care. Like, no one has to believe in anything that I say. That's not why I'm here. Um, but also, if your friend didn't believe in anything that you said, I don't think he's on the other side being like, yes, come talk to me. I am ready to talk because I didn't believe in it, then I died, and now I believe in it. No, your friend's probably on the other side being like, yeah, well, I don't want to lead into it. I don't want to lead other people astray. That was my life work, to not lead people astray.
I didn't believe in it, and then I died.
Well, that's like, okay, Houdini, for example. Everybody's like, but Houdini. And I'm like, yes, I have a great respect for Houdini. There were a lot of frauds, like great
That was the height of fraud.
yeah, like,
The height of fraud.
and that, honestly, great theatrics. As a thespian, I respect the amount of theatrics. Thank you. For the crane, I got a crane. I respect the theatrics. I don't respect the lying whatsoever, and that's why I'm always upfront with people. I'm just like, hey, if I can't read this or if I don't know what's going on, I'm not gonna charge you. I'm not. No, like, we're either gonna come up with something else to get you to that point, but otherwise, no, because that's wrong. I'm not gonna lie for the benefit of the coin because I don't serve the coin. But I bet you Houdini, once he got over to the other side, he was probably like, they're doing seances to reach out to me. I could reach out to them, but then that would validate a bunch of people who I know are lying. So I'm just not going to reach out. And I'm like, I respect that, Houdini. But for some reason, people look at that and they're like, oh, but that must mean he's not there because he would have reached out. I'm like, you don't know what he would have done. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's
He's a
like saying
magician.
that that's like saying that, every celebrity contacted, or how somebody said they talked to Jesus and the angels and God. Yeah, that makes that all real then too. I As much as there's a certain amount of faith and trust you put into what you do. And I think that Rebekah would agree with me with, I'm going out with this stuff. And I'm like, I gotta suspend a little bit of my own disbelief to, kind of see what happens and open your mind to different possibilities, and don't expect it to go a certain kind of way, because unfortunately television's really set the tone for the rest of us. But there's also the knowledge that we do have and understand, and a lot of that can be from your personal expectations and beliefs and how you've experienced things versus how other people experience things. You got to be realistic. So no, sometimes you're not going to just be like manifest, and they're going to be like, what? What do you want? Nothing happens. That happens pretty often. I could sit here for 3 hours just waiting for nothing to happen, and you've got to be understanding of that. She's like, Rebekah is not an all-powerful god and can just call upon the powers that be to give you what you want, just as I can't convince even like a ghost in my own apartment to be like, hey, John the coffee dude, you want some coffee? Come hang out with me. He could be like, nah, I'm gonna go over there, and then he leaves. You can't, like, you gotta be realistic in your expectations. We're not gods.
Yeah. Plus, once again, it comes down to personal choice. We might, the spirit talking to us might be like, nah, I don't want to talk to you, and it could be something like, I don't like your hair. I'm not talking to you. Like, it can be something ridiculous. We don't always know what it is.
Here comes the boy.
Bean! Oh, look at that little bean.
Look at it. He's not so little right now. He's 8 pounds.
Oh, Bean. He's
You
this.
getting hungry?
He's just a little smaller than my cat.
He's smaller than my cat. My cat's 30 pounds. Hi, Bubba. Hello, Stinky Man. How was your nap? Was it good nap? He's giving me the look. He's like, Mom, I'm talking
Are
to
you
your
talking to the
aunt.
screen again, Mom? Yeah.
Oh, your aunt's here. She's going to teach you how to talk to the dead people when you get older.
You say teach. No, I'm gonna be learning from being. I'll be like, okay, but what did you see? Tell me. I'll tell you if I've seen it, and then we'll exchange words. I get.
That's another thing. It's one of the. I'm very specifically like, what's the word? Dang it! It just went right out of my brain. You eat my brain cells. You do because you're so cute. When it comes to mediumship, I have a healthy dose of doubt when anybody comes up to me and is like, I'm a psychic or I am a medium, and I'm like, okay, go ahead with your bad self. Like the one that ran into us at the store, and they were like telling us all these things that me and my husband have only talked about with each other and friends, and I was like, oh, that's uncomfy. So okay, when like if I can back you up with physical information, dope. If you can speak to me in a way that like you bring something, okay. But I see a lot of that pushback on that as like, well, like it's not, and understandably, it's not always on game all the time. But if that's the case, then just be quiet. Oh, Stevie man, what is up? What we got to bounce? We got to bounce.
It's because Bean
Having someone
knows.
come in my live and talk to me about a spirit and giving me all this information that is actually actually historically inaccurate, dates, names, time, all that, and I have like documentation of these things, and I'm like, honey, no, I don't know. Like, I appreciate your effort, but if you weren't sure, you should have just
See,
been a little quiet.
I've had things happen like that, certainly, though I've also had things happen in the other way. For example, when people started calling out, they're like, I think you and George were connected in a past life. And I was like, lol, that's hilarious. um, which, by the way, Mayra's still great. She's who I did my past life regression with. I did a live with her, which is also on my YouTube, Quirks and Conjure, which is written on the bust. Anyway, um, but no, in that, like, you clear your mind and you really get yourself in just a blank position, and then the memories start coming and your higher self will show you things, which I love. I'm like, yeah, put me in hypnosis. I want to know some things. But yeah, he showed up, and then I was like, wow, so and so who kept commenting that he was in my past life. Now, I don't know if they knew, but they called it, and I was like, that's more than what I knew, and it happened to me. Um, and then what? I get the same comments again with Rupert. They're like, I bet you knew him in a past life. Something's left undone. And I was just like, yeah, that's cute. Love it. Yeah. And then what happens? Rupert, who I know from his time period, would not believe in past lives or know of past lives. And he was the one to like tell me, he was like, no, remember how I would look at you and said that you were shorter? And I was like, yeah, I just thought you were crazy. like, like the things that he brought up, just saying things like, oh, you sing better. And I was just like, I sing like how I've been singing. And he's like, no, 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 you sing better in this life. And then I'd be like, what? And he'd be like, because he would go back into the void. But yeah. So yes, I think it works both ways. Normally I'm sitting here agreeing with you and being like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are very talented. Like some person looked at one of my videos and was like, your ghost looks like this. And I was like, whoa, I haven't talked about this ghost and you just described them. So that was cool. But yeah, I've certainly had other things where
I
I was
love
like,
those. I love it when that happens. I had a friend, somebody who is like one of my closest at the time, like medium psychic friends. Oh no, Bubba! Oh, take a little ride for a second. messaged me to watch out for something that was around me, and at the same time that the message pops up above my phone, someone in the chat said the exact same thing at the same time, and I was like, okay, sneaky man. I should probably go make him a bottle real quick.
Okay.
So if you just kind of want to entertain, I will go grab him food, and I will be right back. No sad baby.
I'll do my best, friends. Okay, ask me questions. What do you want to know? Oh, I think I saw some people say things like asking about cleansings. I would recommend, oh, unhappy bean. Um, very unhappy bean. Oh my goodness. So much baby crying. Oh my goodness. Um, oh, she's literally making a bottle right now. Yeah, he's hungry. Yeah. But yeah, I have some videos on cleansings on my YouTube, which of course that is absolutely free to you. And if you want more advice for your specific situation, I do offer consultations. Oh, poor baby. Yeah. Consultations are all on my website. That's quirksandconjure.com. How do I communicate with spirits? I primarily do it through claircognizance, but I also have some clairsentience and clairvoyance. But like generally speaking, you have to figure out how you personally are, what senses you have, like what spiritual senses you have, which everybody does have some. And sometimes they're literally like using the five senses that you have and being able to see that, or experience or smell or hear that. But that's another thing that I offer consultations on, is to have a conversation on experiences that people have personally, so that I can work with them on building their own strengths rather than, making a video like right now where I'm just talking about what I have. So consultations are not about what I have. It's about what's happening with who I'm talking to.
Whiskey Wild After Dark, tag me in the videos you want me to see. And it's funny that you said, and give us pointers. I'm going to be starting a new series called Ghost Hunting 101. And I'm going to literally go through different points and focus on like different codes of conduct, equipment, how to find locations. And I'm going to take them each one by one. This is going to be like for the rest of my career of TikToking. But I think it's important to take each piece individually and go through it as effectively as possible. And I promise they're not going to always be 3-minute videos. But it's something that I've been thinking about doing, and I think it's important, especially with all the shenanigans going on. And when we get back to ghost hunting, this is literally like, this is my life right now. Just, he dictates what I do day to day. He's so cute, though. It's okay.
And I love that idea. I would love to see that. Also, as somebody who, I do not call myself a paranormal investigator, I call myself a medium. There's a difference. And that's because I will watch these videos, and even if it's somebody in a sheet, I'll be like, yeah, but what if, like, what if?
I do find it funny that people assume that because you're a medium, you deal with ghost stuff constantly. Not every psychic and medium is into the ghost world. Some of them strictly focus on people and their loved ones, and they don't do the whole going out in the dark at night like I do. Like, this, just because they're in that same genre does not mean that they do the same things.
Exactly. There are different specializations as far as psychics, mediums, psychic mediums, and then of course paranormal investigators, and then even those who are just spiritually sensitive. It's all it's kind of a tier system. It's a ladder, but it most people aren't at the place where they're like, I read everything. It is more like a specialization. I know a lot of people who specialize in like reading spirit guides, and that's something that I've opened up to as well, just because that's a lot of energy. However, connecting with somebody's past loved one, I'm still working on, because oftentimes that spirit is not always as sentient in order to communicate. It is a practice. that's why for me, I work with a lot of earthbound spirits because they're hanging around and they're not attached to people, they're attached to locations or energy. And for some reason, that clicks in my mind and my spiritual abilities. And so that's what I focus in. So, once again, kind of going back to the example I gave earlier, where it's like, if you don't know this one word in this envelope, you're not real. I'm like, well, some people would know that because that's their specialization. That's more of a psychic ability than it is mediumship. And that's okay. You know, some people can just get into somebody's head and pull out words, and it's terrifying, but some people can do that. I Something about the skin suit. I don't get into people's heads. I don't know what people are thinking. Um, Spirits, I can pick up on their emotions, but even with people, like people are like, "Oh, you must be this really strong empath, right? Because you connect with all these spirits." I'm like, "Yeah, spiritually, I'm with people. I'm not as well versed. I don't know if I want to be. People carry a lot of things with them that I don't always want to pick up on. And I think that's also consent as well. There's a lot of consent that goes with reading somebody. And I don't have that consent. So I don't force it.
I used to have a very good talent for reading people, generally speaking. If you met my husband, you would think he's psychic because he can literally pick you apart just by looking at you. He's not psychic, he's very perceptive, which is almost like its own form of being psychic. Like his perception is so good, he can pinpoint a trauma and just throw it at you when you would be like, how do you know that that's the thing? And literally, he reads how you carry yourself, how you talk, how you conduct the conversation, what you're doing during that conversation. Like, he can pick up on all of those things, and it's almost spooky. Like, he read me to filth the first time he met me, and I was like, wow, I'm really impressed. He's like, that didn't scare you? I'm like, nah, you haven't met my mom yet.
Yeah. And that's the
But,
thing. People will say that about me. They're like, "Oh, you're just perceptive. You're just picking up on people or what people are putting off." And I'm not like your husband. I'll be like, "Yo, I wasn't even looking at them. I was looking at so and so over here who you may or may not be able to see. I was not reading this person. I'm not good at that."
ooh, I actually have a really interesting question that I was curious of your thoughts on. I know that in my field, it's very difficult for us to come together and for a lot of investigators to work together because they have very specific, sometimes archaic ways that they like to do things. Do you think, generally speaking, that it's a good idea to have like a general rule of thumb or like a general code of conduct, I can't speak, conduct between like within your specific disciplines, like just a general way to act and be, instead of us all just kind of like running in the dark and just being like, "Wah!" Which is what a lot of us do. Just saying. Hi, Stinky.
Um,
Oh,
as much as I would love to say, well, of course there's a code of conduct. We all talk to each other very kindly and no. Um,
you lie.
yeah, yeah.
I'd call you a liar.
Right, right. Just like with paranormal investigators, sometimes you'll get the ones that are constantly trying to disprove others in order to seem more legitimate themselves. Um,
That's an epidemic in both of our fields.
yeah, and I've run across that too with mediumship and psychic mediums, like calling out things that I've done and that kind of thing. And I'm just like, wait, who are you? Were you here? Like, do I know you? You know? Um, I surround myself with people who I can learn from. And
Mm-hmm.
in putting myself in that respect, I don't assume that what I'm doing is more right than what somebody else is doing. I know what's right for me, and if I think something is not right in a situation, I will just be like, "Hey, this is how I feel. Can we talk about it? If not, I'm just gonna pop out." Um, some some mediums will be like, "No, we're gonna do it this way. It's gonna be light and love forever," and I'm like, "Okay." Um, and some people need the light and love. I'm not discounting light and love. I'm more of a dusk dawn kind of person myself. And some people are midnight people, and what brings you peace and balance? That's what matters. Um,
Oh, messy.
oh no.
So
um,
much milky hands. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
I think it's just like working with anybody, honestly. It's just like a group project. You're going to get along with some people despite geese. Um, I don't know if you can hear the geese. They were all just like, we're going to be loud and go across.
Oh yes, I love geese.
You have baby, I have
Cobra
geese.
chicken.
Yep. Um,
I need
yeah,
you to burp for me,
I
please.
I think of my closer friends who are mediums or spiritualists or whoever, and we don't always adhere to the same deities or the same higher power or the same practices, the same cleansings or anything like that. But we have a mutual respect for one another because we don't discount each other. So I love going to places and having another medium there. Like Kid, for example, at the Railroad Museum, she and I have different practices, and that's totally fine. But because we don't discount one another, because we have a mutual respect for one another, we can sit there in the same space and talk to the same ghost. And that's what matters to me. But yeah, anybody out to just take another person down just so that they can rise up, it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't make them higher, it makes them lower.
That's a big issue in the ghost hunters community. Just constantly trying to just on each other and oh, obviously that's fake and blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's shockingly, I don't get that very often. I don't share a lot of stuff because I only share when I know for sure it's something worth sharing. But I very rarely ever had somebody tell me it was bullcrap. Um, there's a mutual respect that me and like the investigators that I know on TikTok and generally have discussed, and like we all kind of on the same page. Um, but if you want to come in with an alternate perspective or maybe explain like why you think this is the way that it is, I'm here for that. What I don't appreciate is having like slam videos done on people where it's like, this is why this is bull crap. And and like the mediumship kind of falls into that witch talk kind of thing, and that's a whole other can of worms. I'm not getting into that, but it's a problem. And honestly, if there comes if you don't have nothing nice, if you don't have anything nice to say, like just don't say anything. But also, like you can take constructive criticism, like that's part of life, but you don't have to be vindictive about it. And, we do, as ghost hunters, we do have a code of conduct. We do have a way we're supposed to do things. And some people just don't follow that. Like some people on TikTok that I'm not going to mention the ads of. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking the truth. It's not talking crap if it's true. I'm just saying. It's frustrating because, like, I'd love to share more specific things that comes to evidence and stuff, but I abstain unless it's like really compelling because I don't want to deal with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to deal with it. Not to say that I'm like, oh, I have any doubts or anything. It's just I don't want to open that can of worms with people because I'm just not going to be nice. That's the problem. I'm a nice person. I have a reputation. I'm not trying to ruin it by being myself. I'm kidding, guys. I swear.
No, I totally get what you mean. And there've got to be boundaries. And I think with, the bigger following that both of us are getting, it's like this, you have to make boundaries for how much you're going to deal with when it comes to the comments. And I'm so grateful. I've gotten so many kind people. Like, thank you for watching. Thanks for the gifts and everything. Like, and for just kindness, because it's not easy to come out and be like, hi, I work against the norm. Yay. Um,
Right.
but it's also, as far as like, and I think this goes with paranormal investigators as well. Um, just because one person is having an experience, that doesn't mean that another person is going to have the same experience. Therefore, it's not appropriate to roll up and without really validating claims to roll up and just be like, hey, I you are wrong. You are not feeling this. You are not having this experience because I know what I'm doing and you do not. And I'm just like, what? What? You're disqualifying yourself right now by saying that there's only one stream of like spiritualism and connecting with that, you know? I had somebody come on my comments. So I eventually had to block. I tried to talk to them, tried to reason with them, but they were saying that uh, their family origin made them basically more elite. It was elitism than me, without knowing my family or my race or just like a number of things. They made a lot of assumptions because they looked at me and they're like,
Oh my
ah,
God.
oof.
That's normal, by the way. He burps like a human man.
But yeah, they came on.
My apologies.
You're right. I forgive Bean. I love Bean. Um, but yeah, they came on and they were just like, you're wrong because this and this. I'm a this, this, and this. I'm a this witch, or I'm a that believer, or a this, that, or the other. And I was just like, anybody can have these experiences. You don't have to be a this. You don't have to be a that. Anybody can have these experiences. It doesn't make you better than anybody else. It's just whether you're acknowledging them publicly or not.
I'll tell you, one of the worst, and I'm gonna be dead honest. I'm not even gonna front.
Real quick,
one of the worst ghost hunters.
Real quick, if I could say, this person was not Native American, just so you know. Somebody commented that. No hate towards you. I just wanted you to know. It was a European specificity, and that's all I'll say about it. Because it doesn't matter, because it's not their entire group that's elitist. It's a single person that was trying to make money. Anywho.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so that person can slam their face into the earth, rocket through the planet's core, and shoot into space. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So one of the worst ghost hunters that I ever dealt with had a very elitist attitude. He told me that he had the most compelling ghost evidence out there, period. No one had evidence like this. He was the best, blah, 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 blah. I saw it because I needed to see this. I saw it. It's interesting. I wouldn't say compelling. I would say it's worth thought. And he basically had this, like, you know, I'm the best ghost hunter ever. He was kind of trying to, like, be the Zach Baggins before Zach Baggins was really a thing. But just the way he conducted himself during interviews or during our investigation that I was a part of, like, I'm doing my walkthroughs because I was still, like, the medium at the time. Oh, yes, babies! Now we're all set and all comfy. Perfect. We had a good bottle. Now we've got our little set sheet. We're just going to scream into the void. That is also acceptable. He just goes, it'll just stay like that.
That's a vibe. I see that. Yeah.
So we're going through this investigation, and nothing really happened through the entire thing, except for one instance that happened before the investigation even started. And you see me on the cameras now. I was doing my initial walkthrough because any good medium on a ghost hunt always does an initial walkthrough to kind of get an idea of what the energy levels are looking like. And there was one room with a rocking chair, and I stopped in the rocking chair room, and I was like, there's something in this area. I don't know what it is, but I wrote it down in my notebook. And then later, the rocking chair started to rock by itself. And I was like, yeah, I wrote that in my book. He's like, that doesn't mean you knew it was going to happen. I was like, I didn't say I knew it was going to happen. I just said that I wrote that in my book, that there was an energy here. And then, you know, here you go. You've got a rocking chair working. He's like, what? He's like, you're not a real investigator. You're just a medium. I was like, all right, go off, bro. And he was bragging about all the great places he'd been and how he's so well respected. But just so you know, he fell off the earth after that. He was getting a TV show. He's not on TV. He wanted to relegate me to watching the cameras because he didn't want to give me a chance to show my chops because I was like 19, 20 at the time. And I was like, pretty well proved myself to be a pretty talented person. There's actually audio proof that I heard something that was not out loud. Like, just saying. He was just rude. He's like the whole, all of the negativity that I feel about ghost hunting comes from just him, his experiences with dealing with him. Just the way he acted. And the way he was like, oh, I am the best ghost hunter that ever lived, and I got this great evidence, and I'm so well respected in the community, and I'm just like, cool story, bro. I'm so happy for you. You don't mind, I'm gonna go home now and never talk to you again.
We will never be friends again.
And it's just literally just everybody crapping on each other all the time. Like, I see it too much. And we need to kind of like support each other better, especially between our two different communities. Like, we're in the same genre of things, but we're the first, like, ghost hunters are the first ones to be like, mediums are bullcrap. Although every team has one.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we need to know which room to go in. Hey, which room do we go in?
But
Like, and it's just like that one.
yeah, but there's also, when I talked to my friend Alex, who joined me on a live stream, we were talking about debunking and things like that. They said, how are you a ghost hunter? You're not a medium. You can't be a ghost hunter if you're not a medium. And I was like, well, that's not true. But you can't go based off of just what that said medium says is going on. Like, you gotta back it up with something else, you know? And that's part of that disconnect we have that I see with other people, because I'm very big on, like, I need some documents, I need something to back you up. Did we get a recording? Something that just goes right in line with what you said, because I want to be on the same page. Because if I present something and it's half-ass, then I look bad. Like, you can't put your name on anything anymore. You can't say, oh, I believe this is real, because then if it turns out later somebody disproves it, then you're an idiot. You can't win. Just no matter what.
And that's why I think, to kind of going back to mutual respect for one another, because I think about how I've worked with paranormal investigators who, they may not get all the footage or, everything to prove what I'm saying, but what makes me want to work with them again, if they're just like, hey, we didn't pick up anything, but that was pretty cool what you did, like, would you like to come out with us again, maybe next time. It's just the mutual respect of the matter. um and I think there's an excitement too. I don't need, like, bravado. Like, I'm only going to get defensive if it goes against the morality of the situation. If I'm channeling someone and they're actively like, no, I want to stay in this room because I care about it and I'm not hurting anybody, and if they're actually not, it's like one of those things. If somebody's like, no, we're going to remove you because it's a paranormal investigation and we remove everything at the end, and I'm just like, I'll stand up for a spirit that's not doing anything wrong. And that would probably be one of the only times I would get confrontational, or if somebody was being confrontational with the spirit. But, like, otherwise, I work with people that I like, and I work with people who I respect, and I work with people who I can get a beer with afterwards, and we have a great time. Like,
I don't like beer, but I'll have a glass of wine.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
I'm allowed.
Yeah.
I'm allowed now.
Hey. But yeah, I don't get the disrespect.
That's why I'm very interested in having you come and hang out with us. Like, it's not that I get asked all the time about mediums. Like, it's not that I wouldn't have somebody join. It's just that I am very specific about who I would trust enough to bring into what essentially I built into a space. Like, it's a very specific space. We've been dealing with these spirits for, oh God, over a year now. We have a conversation. They know us, and I don't want to just bring anybody and just be like, there you go, figure it out. But you're connected enough with me. I've heard some of the stories, but disconnected enough that whatever you're seeing and feeling, I could, like, figure out, like, who you're talking to and back it up with other information that I have about those specific people. Honestly, I'd like to basically put you on a lead and, like, tell you to tell me where this person is. Like, I keep hearing this specific voice, and I need you to tell me where to go. Like, who is the dead person that is trying to communicate with me? Because they keep sitting there. They're like, hi, I'm here. Can you help me? What do you need help with? Every time. Winky boy! Why do you have glitter on you?
Why wouldn't he have glitter on him? Are we asking this
I know
question seriously?
he's so fabulous, but like literally though, I don't have any glitter in my house. Like, where did it come from?
Baby
What
glitter.
fabulous,
Yes.
fabulous little baby.
Creates his
He's
own
literally looking
glitter.
at me with his eyes. He's just like,
Mhm.
"What are you doing?" He rolls his eyes at me sometimes. Oh my god! I just remembered something that happened. You're gonna laugh. So I've been jokingly saying that he's the Antichrist because that's the only way I would get pregnant. This was a joke. This is a joke I have had. Everybody in my chat, if you've been here, me and my husband. So anyway, he comes out, and like this is like a few weeks after he was born. I was holding him. I was like hanging out with him and like being all cute and stuff. And then I just kind of was like, hey, so, kid, I know you don't quite understand what I'm saying to you right now, but would you let me know if you're the Antichrist or anything? I swear on all I own currently, he was like this, and he went and looked dead at me. And I was like, oh, that's good. Oh, the way you just looked at me right now is really reassuring. And then I said, is it possible that I'm just crazy, that you aren't actually a spawn of hell and going to take over the world and destroy it? And he goes, I'm like, so what you're telling me is, using your eyes, that you're letting me know that this might be something possible in the future. And then he looks at me again and goes, and my husband's literally sitting there. He's like, stop. I was like, but he did. Did you see what he did? He's a baby. He doesn't know. But the way he looked at me.
But do
just
he
that.
though? Do he know?
Sometimes, like, I'll say something jokingly about that, and he'll look at me every time and just narrow his eyes. And I'm like, you can't stop. You better stop.
So really what I need to do when I visit you is do a reading on your baby and maybe connect with spirit guide and be like, "Hi, I just wanted a little bit I just
Just,
wanted some information on if this baby's going to cause the apocalypse. Just thought I would check in. Thanks so much."
it's just like he was like just on the precipice of sleep. I make that comment and he goes, I was done. I was done. I was like, well, lucky me.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how how long will it take before he starts seeing things? Because I started young. I don't. How old were you when you first started seeing things?
Literally my first memory. The oldest memory I can think of on my way back was being pushed over by a ghost.
You too? Ah,
Yeah.
I love
It
it.
was like early trauma. Yeah. Yeah.
What? How old was I? I was about 2 or 3, and I stood up in my bed, and I was sick, and I was calling for my mom, but somebody else appeared at my closet, and it was a woman, but it wasn't my mother. And then I started screaming, "Mom, Mom!" and throwing up all over myself. And I was 3 years old. That's the first thing I remember.
Great memory.
And
Good
there's
times.
a lot of my earliest memories that I can still recall clearly are all like something spooky, some weird thing going on.
Yeah, my earliest memories up until I actually shut off my clairvoyance were terrifying things. Um, and that's the reality for a lot of young people, like children. They'll see stuff, and one of the things that I do consultations on is I'll talk to parents, and they'll just be like, "Yo, my kid is seeing this stuff. It's lining up. I don't see this stuff, but I'm concerned about them. Can I have advice?" And that's the consultation. I'm just like, okay, so we talk about supporting the kid. We talk about how some of it could be imagination, but what does it hurt to teach the kid to be confident in their own ability to handle their own situation when they can. Other times, like I've talked with parents who have kids with sometimes it's autism, sometimes it's just something where the kid can't speak very easily. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about gestures. Can we teach them a gesture that, when they're doing this, that you as the parent know, oh, they're seeing something, they're trying to shove something off. I'm going to also do an energetic push, like that kind of thing. But yeah, a lot of young kids will see things, and most people turn it off because it is scary, or they don't feel like they're being understood or supported. So in order to conform to society, they shut it off.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify for my chat. When I say earliest memory, I mean the earliest recalling thing that I can think of where something weird happened. But if we're talking about first interactions, where I was like cognizant enough to do anything about it, I was about like 5. Because like when you're little, you're just like, okay. And then when you start to learn to talk, it was literally, they were like, help me. Then they existed, and they were like, hi, I'm dead. And I'm like, oh, I know what that means. Are we friends?
Right, yeah.
Sure.
It's like,
cool.
oh, okay. Oh.
Because my dad had passed away, so I knew what dead meant. I knew what that meant, but the idea of what a ghost was just totally over my head.
Yep.
I just always called them like my dead friends or the voices, which did not help my case at all.
Yeah.
But it would always be like voices in my head, or like even out loud I would hear them sometimes, and then like music and noises and things that just didn't make sense. And I apparently I wasn't the only one. I was just the only one willing to like take it into consideration and like go, that's a little strange. Weird.
Yeah.
And then it got terroristic. It got to a terrorizing point. And then when they came in and they were like, oh, by the way, your house is haunted. And my mom was like, I can't believe this. And I'm just like,
yeah.
They're both doing the same thing. Like, I'm not surprised. I've been telling you this for years. I don't know why you didn't believe me, but here we are. And I sent you that picture. That was one of the 3 pictures that we got at the time during that investigation. Never got anything like that again. First and only time in that house. Otherwise, it's just EVPs.
Mm-hmm.
They're good with EVPs, but not for the pictures. They don't like to pose. Where did we go? All right, let's use this. Yeah, actually, so for those who've seen some of my TikToks, I actually, I've shared those pictures on TikTok like twice now. And I sent her one of the blue lights, which is arguably the best picture that they got that night. Oh no, you got a little goop on your face. Did you see it? And I'm just curious, like, not like a reading from it, but like when you saw it, what your thought was when you saw it.
I didn't like the feeling I got from it initially, but that could have been just because, once again, I was like leaving work this afternoon and I was just like, I gotta get home and I need Taco Bell. And that was my thought process. I saw the streak. Fair. And that's the thing. I didn't have the time to like really look into it. It was just like an initial like, ugh. And then I was like, oh. And then I was like, I've got to close up the bathroom. that was my thought process.
It's something I've never really seen much in the world, and it's kind of like it's my little claim to fame. It's my ghost picture.
Yep.
Like it's so interesting because like that's how it chose. Like that's a manifestation, guys. That light is a manifestation. What it is, what I know what somebody had told me about it, and I know what other people think when they see it, but that is a manifestation. It only manifested on film, but it's there. They don't always have to be just fully formed, fleshed out people and just be like, hi, my name's Bob. I died here in 1822. I don't like you. Get out of my house. It's not. I mean, if it was that easy. Oh, God. If it was that easy.
Yeah. Well, hey, not only is it getting dark,
it's about that time.
It is about that time, yes. But
about that time.
Thanks so much for joining me on this live.
I cannot tell you how many times I talk about you. Like, I'm not obsessed or anything. I'm just saying. Like,
Okay, but actually, like, I can't tell you how many times I've been in the car with Jay, and I'm just like, a cat from Pennsylvania, the one that grew up in the really haunted house, the one who's like on that TV show for like a little bit, like is really cool. Yeah, like a cat, my friend from Pennsylvania. You were like, you are cat, my friend from Pennsylvania.
I'm okay if I can it be like I'm Cat the spooky person, because like being from PA is not that cool. Like,
I mean,
we've got the Crayola factory, but
it usually turns into like the one who sees ghosts, or the one who does paranormal investigations, or the one who hangs out in cemeteries, or the one who had a baby recently named Bean, but not actually named Bean, but is Bean. Yeah, that's you.
he is Bean. He is small. He is small Bean. Yeah, I talk about you all the time when we get into discussions about ghosts. When we talk about like things like, oh yeah, sorry, Haley Hershey. It smells like chocolate everywhere. I always talk about you because, like, I will never forget when I saw that you followed me back when I had a big upswing, and I was like, oh my god, no. I like freaked out. I ran into my bedroom and I was like, husband, you're never gonna guess who started following me. I'm gonna die. Because like I'd seen your video and I was like, I have to follow her, and then TikTok refreshed and I went, I don't even know what her name was. I was so upset. And then there you were, and I was like, I was so excited. Oh my god, I died. But one day when our powers combine, we will be Captain Planet. It's going to be incredible. And we're going to do a ghost hunt, and we're going to go live, and everybody's going to lose it. And I can hear the cicadas that are just, they're ready to do it. They're like, let's go.
They're always ready. They see many things. So.
And if you guys go follow Rebekah, she's the most amazing. She's a wonderful actress, by the way. The way you do your videos, oh my god, like, Jesus, pay her some money. So you can follow her on Instagram. She has Quirks and Conjure Instagram. You have Rebekah the Ghost Guide Instagram, and Quirks and Conjure on YouTube. Because you all yell at me to have a YouTube channel. Well, I don't. So you got to go talk to her.
And for folks,
but I'm glad. I hope.
Well, I gotta plug you too. Go follow Spooktastics. That is Cat. Yes. If you like my content, you'll like Cat's content. And great advice. I can't wait to hear more about your advice on paranormal investigation. That is so important. And thank you for all the plugs. Once again, everybody, if you're like, whoa, I have so many questions I need answered about my personal life and my experiences and everything. I do consultations on my website. I'm happy to talk to folks. Kat, do you do anything like that?
You are welcome to message me. My messages are open. You can comment on my videos if you need specific. Oh, hi, Stacia. Hi, Stacia's weird crab crew here again. Gonna hang out with her spooky friends. Hi, Stacia. Love your face. You are welcome to message me or comment on my videos if you're having a specific ghost issue and you would like some guidance on how to deal with that. Sometimes that guidance will end with me saying, you should probably go talk to Rebekah about that. Honestly, because there's so much that I can share with you for how to deal with them in the real time of getting like into a coexistence with them. But if it comes to specific things about like dealing with them and channeling them and clearing them out, there are other people, whichever side she's on for the other side, would be better qualified to answer those questions. And I will happily show you 5 other people that can answer a question when I can't answer a question, which, give me a break. I have mom brain. I barely remember my name or how to spell it, for Christ's sakes.
And I respect that. I do the same. Yeah. Yeah. No, this was so great.
As soon as I can get somebody to keep the baby alive for a long period of time, I'm coming down.
Okay.
I'm going down for a visit.
Yes. Yes.
Immediately.
But baby Bean living is good too. So take your time. It's not a rush. Last time I checked, the spirits will still be here. So.
Yeah, if Rupert and George suddenly are like, Bruce, I'm gonna be so mad.
I would be heartbroken.
Oh man!
Like, I would respect their decisions. I would respect that because I'm not in control of them and they're living their own lives. But I would still be like, yeah. So I would just make noises. It would just be noises.
Oh yeah, Like those moments when you go to the cemetery and I literally, nothing happens and you're like, did I do something or did you all leave? Like, you get scared.
Yeah.
But we will do this again soon. I look forward to meeting all the people from your side that come hang out on my side. And I appreciate everybody on my side that's going over to hang out on her side. Oh my God, the spooky stuff is here. Me and her just reading people to filth. I love you, spooky stuff. Alex, you're incredible. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for putting up with me having to do mom stuff. It is what it is. You got to deal with it.
You're good. I chased after my dog like 10 times, so you're good. Yeah.
Your child was acting a fool. My child was just trying to eat some dinner. So, thank you, boy. So, I will let you get to it. I will do some closing remarks after you go, and then I cannot wait to do this again because I like talking to you. You make me feel a little more sane.
Yay!
Sometimes.
Likewise. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye, Rebekah.